Welcome back to another video, and today we got episode 9 of MLB All Around, most likely the last episode of the season for this series. So yes, very sad, but it is an exciting time to be a baseball fan with the playoffs just around the corner. The regular season finishes up in a couple of days here. It finishes Sunday, the playoffs I believe being Tuesday, so that's very exciting, very excited time to be a baseball fan. With all that being said though, it is a very exciting time to be on this channel as well. We got the MLB playoffs starting up. We'll have content for that. Um, Obviously, college football and NFL videos every single week. And then college basketball and NBA content is on the way soon with those seasons starting to, begin and come through. So, very exciting time to be on the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Turn on the noties to make sure you don't miss whenever we upload. Right now, we're uploading 3 times a week. There's certain points in the year where it's 4 or 5 times a week. So, yeah, very exciting stuff. Like this video if you enjoy. As always, links in the description. X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Follow those. Join all those. Enough with all of that stuff, though. Let's just jump right in to the standings as we speak. So this is the American League as it shapes up right now. If they got red in the background, it means they've officially been eliminated from the playoffs. If they have yellow, it means they've clinched a playoff berth. And if they have green, it means they have clinched their division. So I believe the Yankees, with a win over the Orioles today, they're playing right now. Um, they will get, they will have clinched the division with a win today. Now, if the Orioles keep on winning, this could get interesting because they're obviously in a series with them right now. With all that being said, though, it does appear that the Yankees will win this division. I think the Orioles would need to win every single game, and the Yankees would need to lose every single game. So as long as that doesn't happen, the Yankees will have won this division. The Red Sox, mediocre all year. They don't make the playoffs, unfortunately. They missed the cut. I mean, they were better than most expected. I think a lot of people thought they'd be the worst team in this division this year. I believe that I did, so a little off there. The Blue Jays and Rays, I kind of expected this from the Rays, but the Blue Jays, man, very disappointing season. If you're not going into the offseason with some questions about who's staying, who's moving, what does next year look like, what does the roster look like, then I think you're kind of delusional, honestly. I mean, there's got to be some big question marks going around over there in Toronto. When looking at the AL Central, the Guardians have had this division clinched for a couple days now with a 7-game lead. They can comfortably, safely get into the playoffs. Now they're still in a battle. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they're going to be starting or sitting their starters because they are only a half game back of the 1 seed in the American League, and I'm sure they want that as well. Very impressive season for them. I don't think many thought they would win this division. I think a lot of people thought it would be the Twins. We'll get to the Twins here in a second. But the Royals, still second in this division. Bobby Witt Jr. still doing his thing. Seth Lugo over there. They got a whole lot of guys. It's a very fun team to watch. Yeah, very impressive season for the Royals. It's looking like they're going to make the playoffs, but it's never too early, I guess you could say, to don't celebrate too early. The Tigers have been hot. They're 9-1 in the last 10, 5-game win streak. There's always a team like this that gets into the playoffs after a huge hot streak. They make some noise. Could it be the Tigers this year? I don't know. Tariq Skubal is an absolute beast on the mound for them, so he's definitely a difference maker. They got a lot of pieces over there. Yeah, the Tigers could be a team that we see make some noise in the playoffs. Like I said, there's always a team in baseball that just gets into the playoffs playing hot, playing great ball, and then in the MLB playoffs, it's really just how good are you playing right now. The regular season really doesn't matter as much once you get into the playoffs. It's all about momentum, and the Tigers have all the momentum in the world right now. They're the hottest team in baseball. Like I said, 9-1 in their last 10 on a 5-game win streak. So they could definitely overpass the Royals. They've already overpassed the Twins, who now sitting here with 4 games left in their season. They're 2.5 games out of the wild card behind the Tigers. And yeah, I mean, they gotta start getting a little bit concerned. I believe with a loss, today. They're playing the Marlins, so they should win. But their last series is against the Orioles, so that's not very promising if you're a Twins fan. Honestly, if I had to guess, the Twins probably do miss the playoffs. The Tigers' last series is against the White Sox. The Royals' last series is against the Braves, so maybe if the Royals collapse, but the Tigers probably getting in with the way they're playing and the team they're going to be playing. Speaking of the team they're going to be playing, the White Sox have avoided this 121st loss for a couple of days now. They're on a 3-game win streak, I believe. Um, I mean, could we see them? Could we see them beat the Tigers? I mean, we haven't seen this from the White Sox all year. Like I said, 3-game win streak, probably their longest of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're really trying to be. They're really trying to not end up as the worst team in MLB history. I respect that, but they more likely than not lose one of these next 3 games to the Tigers, especially with the Tigers being right there in the playoffs. In the AL West, not much to talk about here in terms of playoff implications. The Astros have clinched this division. They are locked in at the 3 seed right now. They don't got to worry about anything. The rest of this division has been eliminated. I will say the A's, I guess this could be a success. You have a chance to win 70 games, which is better than you've done in the past couple of years. The Rangers, very disappointing, coming off the World Series win. The Mariners were a team I predicted to go to the ALCS in the preseason. That ultimately fell short. The Angels just got swept by the White Sox, who are potentially going to be the worst team in MLB history. So, yeah, there's a lot of red in this division here. But moving on over to the National League, which I think arguably could be a little bit more interesting. Both these, both the American and the National League have 3 teams fighting for 2 wild card spots, which I do like. It's always fun to see a good wild card race. With that being said, though, the Phillies have clinched their division officially. Uh, 94 and 65. Now they're still battling with the Dodgers for that 1 seed. It's going back and forth as we speak. I'm interested to see who ends up with it. But looking at the rest, I mean, the Mets and the Braves just battling it out right now to see, the Braves trying to make a late push. They're on a 3-game win streak. Both teams 6-4 in their last 10. This could definitely get interesting. Let's take a look at who the Mets play in the final series. So they will play the Brewers, who I believe still have a chance to get the 1 seed as well. Now they need a lot of magic, but technically I think there's still a chance for them. They're only 3 games back, so maybe not. If the Dodgers win today, then they will not have a chance. But with that being said, the Mets, different than all these other teams, the Mets still have 5 games to play. This Brave series, the past 2 days has been postponed because of weather. So they will actually play a doubleheader on Monday. Potentially could be a play-in game for the wild card on Monday in a doubleheader. Crazy stuff. That could be a huge story. But the Mets have to play the Brewers this week. They could definitely drop. I could see them dropping 2 out of those 3, depending on how much starters the Brewers play. When looking at the Braves play the Royals, another team fighting for wild card spots. So there's some huge series happening here in baseball. The Royals, Braves, Orioles, Yankees facing off right now. There's an NL West series, pretty important stuff. Like I said, Braves Mets are going to be playing a doubleheader on Monday. That could potentially be a play-in game. The Braves playing the Royals, the Mets playing the Brewers. There's a lot of sneaky series this weekend. Watch out for them. I know you got college football, you got NFL. Watch out for these how this MLB playoffs, how these teams finish in their final series of the regular season. The Nationals and Marlins, I think most people expected these to be the 2 worst teams in this division. Not much to talk about here. When looking at the NL Central, the Brewers are kind of in the same boat as the Astros. I do still believe they have a chance to get the 1 seed, but I could be wrong. They could just be locked in at the 3 seed at this point. They will have to sweep the Mets, which I don't think will happen if there even is a chance in the first place. I'm not sure who has the tiebreaker between these three teams. So the Brewers could just very well be locked in at the 3 seed. And if the Dodgers do win today, they will be. So, with that being said, I think it's more likely than not the Brewers end up as the 3 seed, which isn't necessarily bad, but, you know. The rest of this division, the Cubs, disappointing season, only 3 games above 500. I expect them to win this division. Disappointing stuff. We'll see what they do in the offseason. Same with the Cardinals. I kind of expected the Cardinals to be here, so I guess not necessarily disappointing. And the Reds and Pirates finishing pretty, about 10 games behind 500. This is also kind of what I expected from those two teams. So besides the Cubs, I was pretty spot on. I had the Brewers. I had the Brewers finishing. Actually, I might have had the Brewers finishing fourth in this division. Kind of crazy. I think I had Cubs, Reds, Cardinals, Brewers, Pirates. Kind of crazy. Um, Moving on though to the NL West, another division very intriguing right now. The Dodgers still yet to clinch their division. They are playing the Padres tonight, in a huge, huge game. Because if the Padres win this game, they still have a chance to to win this division. The Dodgers probably will win because their final series is against the Rockies, but you never know. We've seen crazier things happen. The Padres, though, would have to sweep the Diamondbacks in their final series. Another huge, huge series. The Padres, one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. They are finishing their series with the Dodgers tonight, and then they have the series against the Diamondbacks. Two very tough series to finish out the year. But the Padres, the way they've been playing, they're one of the hottest teams entering the playoffs as well. 8-2 in their last 10. They have officially clinched a playoff spot, so that will be fun to see them in the playoffs. It's always good to see the Padres in the playoffs. With that being said, the Diamondbacks still in the wild card race here with the Mets and the Braves. Now, as of right now, they are at the 6th seed. That is partially due to the fact the Mets have played 2 less games than them. But the Diamondbacks will at least, at bare minimum, they will need to win one of these last 3 games against the Padres. I personally think they'll win 2 at least, just because I think the Dodgers I think will clinch the division. I think the Padres will end up clinching the 4 seed, so I think the Diamondbacks will probably end up winning maybe the games on Saturday and Sunday and get in. The Giants finishing just below. They could, I guess, finish above 500, but I feel like they finish 500 every year. And then the Rockies, the 3rd worst team in the league this year. I didn't expect a good season for the Rockies at all. With that being said, though, I'm going to make these predictions. I'm going to speed through this because I don't really want to say too much for the MLB playoff prediction official video, which will be coming out Tuesday, maybe Monday. Actually, it probably will come out Monday. Yeah, it will come out Monday. But yeah, I'm gonna speed through this a little bit. So starting off at the top, Astros Tigers. I'm gonna take the Astros. I think they win in 2 games. I don't think the Tigers are really all that good. Skubal could keep them in game 1, but I think the Astros are good enough. More experience, they win. Orioles, Royals. I'm gonna keep this short and simple. I've been taking the Orioles in this series too. 2 young teams. I think the Orioles are, for once, the more experienced team. I think they win. I think they're better. I think they win in 2 games. The Brewers Diamondbacks. This could be a very interesting series. 2 high-powered offenses. In a series like this where it's high-powered offense versus high-powered offense, I could see this game going way up in the points. And I think that favors the Diamondbacks. I'm going to go ahead and take the Diamondbacks to upset the Brewers here in 3. I feel like the Brewers always get upset in the playoffs. They're not a pitching first team this year. I think the Diamondbacks get them. They're playing good ball right now. The Padres and Mets. If I'm a Mets fan, I'd honestly rather play the Brewers than the Padres because the Padres are just so hot right now. Offensively, pitching-wise, everything's clicking for them. I'm going to go ahead and take the Padres here. So that wraps up the wild card round. Let's move to the divisional round. The Astros taking on the Guardians here. I'm going to keep this the same as I always do. I'm going to take the Guardians. I think they're overall the better team. one of the best bullpens in the league. Emmanuel Clase is the best closer in the league. I will say that. Pitching wise, they got a good rotation. Hitting wise, they've got had a lot of guys step up this year. Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan, just to name a few. Um, yeah, I think the Guardians would win this series in four. The Astros, not too impressive this year, in all honesty, but they are the Astros. You got to give them some respect. In AL East matchup here, we've seen this a lot, and we'll probably will see this in the divisional round. And I'm always back and forth. I'm really gonna have to think about this for the playoff prediction official video. As of right now, I'm gonna stick with the team I've been taking. I'm gonna take the Orioles in five. I can't trust the Yankees. I feel like they always collapse. I've been saying this all year. I feel like this is the year the Orioles make a deep run. They could win the World Series. Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, they're pitching. Corbin Burns. I mean, the bullpen. They have one of the best, most complete, most well-rounded rosters in baseball. I'm gonna take the Orioles here, but that one will definitely need a good amount of reflection before I make my official prediction, because we're more likely than not going to see this in the playoffs unless the Yankees finish with the 2 seed and the Guardians get the 1 seed. That could be interesting. That could actually happen. So we could, we could see that. We could see this matchup in the ALCS too. So um, definitely definitely this is a very realistic matchup to see. I'm going to take the Orioles though. The Diamondbacks and the Phillies. This would be a very fun series. I don't think we've ever seen this in my playoff. Whenever I do these videos and predict, I don't think we've ever seen this scenario play out. This one would be interesting. I'm going to take the Phillies because I think in the playoffs, well, I know in the playoffs, pitching and defense matters a whole lot more. I know the Diamondbacks have the best offense in the league. I feel like the Phillies, if it does get into a high scoring game, which I don't think it will, because the Phillies, in my opinion, have the best rotation in baseball, one of the best bullpens in baseball. But if it does, the Phillies have the guys and the hitters to keep up, in all honesty. And the Diamondbacks, pitching wise, nothing too impressive over there. So I will take the Phillies. I will say, though, for the Diamondbacks, again, the offense, very explosive, very impressive stuff. Ketel Marte having a great season. Pitching wise, I didn't want to throw too much shade at them. Zach Gallen's still there, but he's the only one under a 4 ERA on the year, so it's interesting. I'm gonna take the Phillies though. I think they're the more complete team. This matchup, another divisional matchup. Well, obviously in the divisional series, the Dodgers taking on the Padres. This one could go either way. Like I said, with the Tigers, I could definitely see the Tigers being the Astros now that I think of it. The Astros are only 5-5 in the last 10. Well, we're gonna move on from that. Um, with that being said, though, there's always one of those teams that upsets a top tier team in the MLB playoffs just because of they're hot right now. They're playing good baseball. I think if we see this matchup, it's in division, so they know how to play each other. I think the Padres get it. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're playing great right now, offensively, pitching wise. Really, pitching wise, I feel like people aren't talking about the Padres pitching enough. They're actually having an underrated season there. Dylan Cease, 3.4 ERA. Michael King is a name to know. He's posted a sub 3 ERA this year. He's been very good. So yeah, I like this win for the Padres here. With that being said, though, this sets up an ALCS matchup we've seen in these videos a lot. I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm going to take the Orioles here. Not going to explain it too much, just because I want to save, like I said, for the playoff prediction video. I don't want to repeat myself too much. In the National League, I think we have seen this before one time. This would be a fun, very fun matchup. Arguably the two, maybe not the two most fun teams, but this would just be a loaded lineup versus a loaded lineup. Ultimately, what it comes down to, though, in the playoffs, pitching and defense. The Phillies, I believe, have the best pitching rotation in all of baseball. I think they would beat the Padres there, and I think their offenses are comparable. And then in the World Series, do the Orioles get over the too young, too early accusations and win it all? ultimately, I think the Phillies, they're built for this year. They're built to win right now. The Orioles definitely can win right now, but I feel like they're built to win next year, the following year. They have a bright future ahead of them. I honestly might pick the Orioles to win the World Series this year. They're that good. With that being said, it's all going to depend on the matchup. It's all going to depend on how they finish the year as well. I mean, I think the Orioles arguably could be my preseason pick to win it all next year. But as of right now, like I said, the Phillies built to win this year. Their pitching is elite, bullpen is elite, lineup is elite, everything's clicking. I know the Orioles, you could say the same thing, but I feel like the Phillies are built. I've said this before. The Phillies are a team built for the playoffs, and I think even now more than ever. Ranger Suarez, Aaron Nola, and Zach Wheeler, is it? I believe that's his name. For some reason, it's making me think it's not his name. Um, yeah, Zach Wheeler. Yeah, that trio just overall is just disgusting. Not to forget Christopher Sanchez, 3.3 ERA. All four of those guys are posting a sub 3.5 ERA. Ridiculous. Along with the bullpen, who's been very good this year. Trey Turner's in almost 300. I feel like this is the Phillies' year. They got the playoff environment, the stadium, arguably, actually no, the best home field advantage in the playoffs. I feel like everything's pointing to the Phillies this year, so they're going to be my pick as of right now. They could definitely be my pick come the actual playoff prediction video. Again, it depends on matchup, and we'll have to see. With that being said, though, that's going to conclude episode 9 and the final episode of MLB All Around for this season. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Sorry I didn't get, over 10 episodes. We'll clean that up for next year. We will be getting upwards 15, 20 episodes. I was pretty burnt out over the summer. I had to scale it back a little just because of all the college basketball content. We will pick this up next year and really get it going. With that being said, though, hope you guys enjoyed MLB All Around this year. Give me some comments. Give me some suggestions. Let me know what you want changed. Let me know what you want to keep, what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. Just let me know in the comments. Love to hear the feedback. Like this video if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. College football, NFL, NBA, college basketball, of course MLB. If any of that interests you, make sure you subscribe. Turn on the noties to make sure you don't miss whenever we upload. With all that being said, though, links in the description as always. X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Follow those. Join those. With all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys probably Monday. Yeah, Monday will be the next video with our MLB postseason predictions. So that's going to be very fun. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.